Okay, it all says recording, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start. You ready, Paulie?
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody, Larry Lawton here. We got a great show, and we're starting a new system. Paulie Tallini is my special guest here on The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. We are doing it all the way from Colombia. Paulie Tallini is one of the leading experts in law, and he is a former ex-con and one of my favorite ex-cons as we were together for many years. And Paulie does the law, and he consults and helps people all over with the law. So, before I get started, please, everybody, check out my sponsor, Oliva Cigars. They're the ones that do everything. And they're really good people, too, to us. So, let me continue. And as I continue, I'm going to talk about something very special. First of all, Paul Tallini and I is our guest. I talked about him earlier, and what we said we would do is we would start doing a crime podcast or things that are going on. Like Paulie sends me a lot of stuff, everybody. And, I read it all from robberies and new laws that come out. He reads it in depth. He gives me the breakdown. And then I think it's great, great information to pass on to the general public from one of the best legal minds I know. We debate the law and we're not scared. Let me tell you the difference, people. We are not scared to tell it like it is. Good, bad, and indifference with the system. So, without further ado, my man and best buddy, Paul Tallini. How you doing, Paulie?
Great. How you doing, guys? Everybody all right out there in the world?
I think they are, Paul.
I hope they are. Not be, a lot of people ain't.
No, that is true, Paul. We got a lot going on, and I told you, we come from things as big angst. We are both pretty much maybe a little bit politically aligned. You're a little bit more to the crazy side than I am to the right. I'm in more of the middle of the road. I'm not a lefty. I am socially liberal, Paulie, and I am very fiscally responsive. Meaning, I don't care what drugs you do. I don't care who you fuck. I don't care any of that. Respect everybody. Make sure it's illegal. Don't mess with kids or elderly, and do your thing. You're pretty much like that. Maybe a little bit more on the older Boston conservative guy side, I guess. Am I correct on that?
Well, yeah, I think that all these free gifts and shit, you know what I mean, that people want, there is nothing in life that's free. That's where these kids get confused. You know what I mean? Somebody's paying for that shit. And as soon as the balance is not there, if you have 100 people and 90 work in the 10 sucking off the 90, it works. But when you got 50% and 50%, it ain't working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And socialism is just a soft form of fucking communism. You know what I mean?
Well, we're part that way anyway, Paul. If you look at Social Security, that's a social program. Look at food stamps.
But that's really a social program because you paid into that. That's a pyramid scheme.
That's what social is. Social is when you pay into it and you give it to others. That's exactly what Social Security. That's what rich are doing. That's what they'll say. That's a social. What do you think food stamps is? We all pay into food stamps with our taxes, but it gets out to a certain few. We all, pay for Medicare. Let's call it what it is. Medicare is a social program. It's proven to work. I always said there are parts of socialism or
I think everybody has a right to health care without a doubt.
I do too. Without losing your life savings, right?
Listen, it used to be that way back when I was a kid. If people went to the emergency room and you didn't have insurance, they treated you. Go to the emergency room today and you ain't got insurance. It costs you $800 fucking for the visit, and that ain't counting the test they give you. And then you get
but Paulie, hold on. Most hospitals, like even here, homes, they have a mandate. They have to treat anybody. See, here's what happens, Paulie. There are social programs that help the poor. It's that poor middle class guy that's making just above that number. That now he can't afford good health care. They don't take his health care, and that's where you have your problems. I don't think just not getting care. If you go to an emergency room, if first of all, if it's a non-for-profit hospital, and most of them are, which is all bullshit anyway, because the CEOs make millions of dollars and they just take their money and distribute it differently. We know that. But by law, they have to give all health care to even to, with no money if they're a nonprofit hospital. Now, if that's a for-profit hospital, it's a whole different animal, of course. And then, the reason they have to do it for nonprofits because Medicare gives them their breaks or whatever they do and how that all works. But besides that, let's not even get social programs. Some work, some don't. We know that. I don't think everybody should be taking, like the money. Listen, you want to talk social programs? How about everybody who pays taxes and all these congressmen that live off our tax money? I mean, we're paying their salaries
forever.
forever, right? So
Forever.
don't tell me we don't have communism.
If they get into office, right, and the next day, 24 hours later, they fucking are through. Something happens, right? And they're no longer congressmen. They get a benefit for the rest of their life. They get paid for the rest of their fucking life.
I didn't know the exact law for that.
Yeah, no, it does. They get paid. And the amazing thing is that back in the older days when we were operating under like the common law and shit, right? Then they used to have to put up a surety bond in case they fucked up in office. Judges too. They had to swear an oath of office and file a foreign agent registration. They still have to do that today, but they don't fucking do nothing. Nothing ever happens to them.
Oh,
they get
Paul, yeah.
Let's see.
We're not on the inside, that's how I look at it.
I ain't mad at them. You know what I mean? Do your thing and fucking if you can get away with robbing society the way that you're doing, go ahead. But don't fuck everybody else. In the meantime, talking about you're a good guy. You ain't a good guy. You're a bigger piece of shit than a fucking regular convict. You know what I mean?
It's funny how we get older and we don't get mad at this. We used to say, me, I used to be the worst, getting mad at the system. Now I look at it and I go, they're just a bunch of scumbags. They're just criminals like me, and they figured out the better side to be on and not get caught. I mean, so I don't get mad at them. I think it should be changed. I think it can be fixed, and I can go into all that.
Politics is fucked up. It's like the two things you don't argue about: religion and politics, because it's a not-win situation. You know what I mean? You ain't winning the argument because I'm not going to change your mind about your stance on religion or politics. I throw shit out there all the time on social media just to get people going. And I'll start.
Paul, you don't think I know that? I know that better than anybody on the planet. I think I know that. But I get a kick out of it. When I see you, in fact, when I see you starting to throw shit around, what do I usually say? Oh, Paul, he's at it again. Or, messing with because how you get the guys scared about the end of the world day or this crap.
Listen to me. With this newer clip that's coming next week, I'll be having a ball with them. I get all the preachers are saying it's the end of the world. You know what I mean?
You'd have them nuts.
I think the fucking psychologist would have me locked down, and just lock him up so he can't talk to nobody.
I almost think these glasses to buy are a bunch of hoax too. Like, oh, come on, like, oh, what a racket this is to make some money or to do something. Oh, man, if you didn't see it, who knows?
The biggest scam, and we talked about it a little bit on the other video, it's the green movement, right? Fucking Jeff Bezos just bought a fucking 3 homes on Sanibel Island or someplace in Florida, right?
Who did?
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Bezos, right? He paid millions and millions of dollars. And then you got like Barack Obama, like I said before, on Martha's Vineyard. I said, do you think if there was really going to be these islands were going to be underwater in the next 5 years, these people would be spending that kind of money? It wouldn't be happening. You know what I mean? They're so stupid. People are just gullible. They listen, and it's like they need something to fight for, right? But they continually pick the fucking battles they're never going to win.
You know,
You,
Paul, you make a great point. We said that, and we'll go on because I want to talk about a few topics today with you. But what you said is so true about two things. The green. Listen, I am all for energy. I remember when California was smog every day in the '70s. You couldn't even breathe
oh
the air.
yeah.
And that, listen, the emissions laws and everything else helped because it cleaned that place up. So I saw firsthand what some good regulations can do. But now when you get overboard, they've been telling us that Florida, the Keys, would be underwater by 2000. That's the end of the year. I listen. I'm born in 1961, and I've been
Jesus,
hearing it.
you're a fucking baby. My God, I didn't realize.
Well, you were born in what, 56? You so anyway, you're 5 years different. So, hey, Paulie, what I was talking about when we were younger, right? I used to get the biggest kick out of, everything was gonna hit in 20. They were fear mongering back then. 30 years, forget about it. The temperature's gonna be this, the tides are rising. None of that has happened in 60
No,
years.
none.
So now I look back and I go, wait a minute. How many times are you going to lie to me for friggin' money? Because that's what it's for. Don't get me wrong. I think it is happening, but I think it's been happening for the infinite time of the world, and the world will adapt, and the world will, it's going to do what it's going to do. How much we're going to change? I think this science with like offshooting a meteor. I think that's smart and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not saying to try stuff like that. But this climate change thing, the world's going to end, because we have no more rainforest. And then you go down to all South America, and it's nothing but rainforest. So it's fear mongering at its biggest level, I
It
think.
certainly is. Did you see Dubai?
What are they saying now?
No, no, Dubai. Dubai City is under fucking water. And do you know why? They make it rain. They seed the clouds in Dubai and make it rain. And they put up to, I guess, too many fucking seeds or something because the shit is flooded the whole fucking country.
Yeah, but they've made it that way. If you notice, they built it around that, and they built everything on it, like
Well,
down underneath it.
they can literally make it rain. They seed the clouds. They send drones up. They showed it in the World Fair that they had over there, like, right? They send these drones up, and there's not a cloud in the sky. And they release some kind of fucking metal or something. And then something else happens, and they fucking all of a sudden there's lightning and fucking it gets cloudy as hell, and then it starts raining, right? And I watched them do it, and then I watched news shit about Dubai because when he was in Dubai, and I was watching the news, and I was looking at. They tell you we're gonna make it rain tomorrow, and they'll fucking go up there and make it rain. That's how they turn that desert green, right? And they turn around. Why can't they use that same technology when they got these 100 million acres of fucking on fire? Why can't they do the same thing?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
For
know,
real.
you know, I don't listen. I don't know what. Again, I'm not. You and I, we talk about conspiracies and whatever and things that happen, which I love. You know that. I mean, we let. I'm not as much of a conspiracy believer as you, which I'm not saying you are a big conspiracy theory, but you are
Well,
more than me.
I do a lot of research when I hear something and they said, well, this is just a conspiracy theory, right? Well, then
Well,
I go,
Paul, you do research. Let's face it, on the same website you want to learn from it. So taking you down a rabbit hole, brother. But hey, hey let me transition. One thing you're not a conspiracy theorist on or a fabricator is the law, and
yeah.
what we find out going on out there. Your nose to the grindstone, Paul. It's a relief, and I'm glad we're trying this way for podcasts because I want to do these all the time with you. Because again, people, if you don't know Paul Tallini, just look him up. He owns a place called American Litigation Consultant, and he would he what he does is he actually monitors like a lawyer, if you want to call it monitors, but he'll give you your best interest. A lot of times lawyers want to make more money. They might a big move lawyers make to let everybody know out there is the first thing they do is waive speedy trial. And in state cases, that's the last thing you should do.
Oh
Because
yeah.
usually state cases catch a case, the guy in a car, and they got to build that case within that 6 months. Speedy trial, if you waive that speedy trial, it gives them more time. You
Well, in the
don't.
Fed, they only got 70 days, and look at what they do to people.
Yeah, but the feds are a little bit different. They usually don't indict you and do stuff. They plan it, then they get the raid, then they do it. We're going to be talking a lot about that today. But with states, they'll like a local police department could arrest you in a traffic stop, think they got everything, then you waive, and then they wait, and then they got another event. No. They arrest you, take it to trial, usually, and they have to come up with the case. That's what you're putting the burden on the state people. And the minute you give them more time, they're so backed up states. I know, I work with them, and they can handle. Did you know the average time of a turnaround on drug tests with the proper labs is over 4 months, Paul? So if
Is it
they're
that?
delayed just a little bit, they can't bring that stuff into evidence because they want you to waive. And that was just told to me by a lawyer here. He was like, you got to be nuts to waive speed. And once he said that to me, I said, now I'll recommend you. Because at
Yeah.
least you
You
I
don't
mean, you
you
could always
don't
waive it, Paulie.
Well, it's not
You're
only for
defending.
that, it's to force them to do it. What happens if you have witnesses and you're 2 or 3 years down the road and you lose contact because you're in jail? You lose contact with these witnesses that could have, got you out of the situation you're in. You don't know where they are no more. So it can have really dire effects on people.
It could, but I think you could depot those, and I think you can get away with a little bit of that. That's not what I'm more worried more about. The obviously people don't understand, to waive speedy. Listen, to waive a trial date, it's a lot easier for a defendant to say, "Hey, we're not ready for whatever reason." You didn't waive speedy, but we need another few months, Your Honor. Then he goes, "Okay, I guess you were going to waive it from back then. Now let's get another date." Now that's okay because then you're planning that. But
Mm-hmm.
at all costs, you should be ready to fight that case if you got an attorney, because you're going to find out with discovery, especially with the states, they have a higher burden. The feds don't give a crap about discovery, where
No,
the
and then they say, "Well, we gave it to you," you
right,
know,
where the
you
states
turn
have
the
to,
paper
I mean,
over, you know.
right. There's a whole different animal to level, but that's the law. Paul, let me get a couple of cases going on. I wanted to talk to you about. Of course, I got to jump right in. What are you thinking? And I'm going to do a video on this one. What are you thinking about this P. Diddy stuff?
P. Diddy, there's a lot of stuff coming out on him, boy. Oh my God.
But you know what, Paulie? Let me give you my thought pattern, just thought pattern. I'm not buying this trafficking charge, and I'll tell you why. I'm kind of past that point, buddy, where there's on people are coming up 20 years later, 30, whatever it is. Hey, you're talking about rich guys. Yeah, is he a freak? Yeah. Is he fucking guys and girls and everything? Who cares who he's doing? I could give a shit. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
should care. Unless it's somebody against their will. Now,
Well,
I don't.
they said that he did something with Justin Bieber, right? And they supposedly, Justin Bieber, when he was under 16, and he was with Diddy, and I think he gave him a Ferrari or something. He said, when you're 16, you can have this car. This is yours. Some kind of
Well,
bullshit.
see, that's all we know. It's in. I didn't hear from Justin Bieber.
No,
That's
that's Justin Bieber.
I did not hear it come out. First of all,
It,
and if it came out, The statute's it's over 10 years, and I think they extended the statute for this. Maybe
it's 20 for that type of shit. It's 20 years, I
no, it's
think.
not, Paul. You look. I don't think there's a crime except, of course, murder and espionage has no statutes, but kidnapping has no statutes.
Well, I
But
don't think that he's coming out on that fact. Justin Bieber's not coming out on that fact because um, Diddy violated him. You know what I'm saying? He's coming out just showing how the music industry was. It is, and how who's in control and who does these things. But I think fucking fuck the trafficking of the sex trafficking or whatever that he's being accused of right now.
Right.
He's got the dude that got busted for killing Tupac saying Diddy gave him $1 million to kill him. And then he's got somebody else that came out with something about the same with the murder of Tupac. And supposedly there's a video and it shows the guy killing Tupac, but the guy saying Diddy paid him. You know what I mean? Now, Diddy, if he gets away with that, if he gets indicted on that for that crime, I think he got big problems on his hands because everybody around him either fucking got killed or went to prison, right? And he's the only one.
Thought. If they don't charge him, first of all, he has to be charged with a RICO. If there's nothing else, he has to be charged. Here's why. Because it's crossing state lines. There's a lot of predicate acts. I mean, it would be the murder, could be whatever drug, could be enticing for sex crimes. I mean, even if it's a predicate, even if you're not convicted, it's a predicate act that you're investigated. There's a whole bunch of stuff, I think, that the RICO Act would be implied here. But let me get back to this again. When I look at evidence that's old, you're talking about a murder that happened in whatever, 30 years ago, whatever it is. I don't even know now. 92, 97, I don't know exact year. First of all, Paul, you're talking about why so long? What happened? What's the motives? What, did you all just find God? Everybody find God today? I don't know.
I don't know why. I know the guy got busted. And the next, he's saying, hey, back in, did he pay me $1 million to do it? And I did it. Right. So after that guy got pinched, all this other shit's coming out.
Well, no, I mean? It all really started coming out, Paulie, after the lawsuit from that guy. They had that one guy, I don't know. He said that him and Cuba Gooding touched them or some shit. I'm not buying that guy because what's his damage? I just watching the show on Law and Crime. I watched the YouTube channel with Jesse Weber. And he, we had some experts and they had experts on because I've been doing a lot of research on this to do a video. The guy has no basis, no claim for damages. Obviously, what's his damage? Is his like one attorney said, is his damage just to get out in front of this? So say, listen, I sued, I was there, and this happened, but I didn't do it. Look, I'm suing him because I was really not there. It wasn't really under my own will. Because what's your damage when you sue somebody? You better have damages. People don't get that. There has to be some sort of damage.
There has to be some kind of damages, that you can show. Now, if who knows the motive behind this? They were everybody, like you said, you wait all these years to come out with this type of shit, especially a sex crime, right? And you wait 20, 30 fucking years to come out with it. Why? Why did you wait so long? You know what I mean?
I'm with you. And I always wondered that.
And now you're going to watch how many people jump on the bus.
I said that to somebody today. I said, let's see how many more people come out because you got really, really rich people. And yes, a lot of people are bringing Cat Williams by opening the doors. And do I personally think that Hollywood's full of a bunch of perverts, yeah, I think a lot of businesses are. Especially a business where they ask you to wear outfits because you're a movie guy or a model or you're a TV actress, and they bring you. Listen, do you think there's a lot of crap going on in the bar business when they're asking women to come in because they're going to be a hot waitress for Hooters, and they ask you to come in looking like some hot, What do you think that is? That's a form of sexual, if you want to call it, exploitation, exactly. So listen, that's been going on. Do I think Hollywood has that going? Hey, you're not getting this role unless you suck my dick. I get it. I don't. If you suck his dick, you want the role. What do you want me to do? You want me to stop human nature for the rest? Oh, he did that. Well, then why did you suck his dick? I mean, stop the bullshit. I mean,
hey, gotta stand up for your whatever you believe in. You know what I mean?
Paulie. Listen.
Honey, what the best thing I seen was when Elon Musk told Disney, fuck you, I ain't nothing, you can't buy me, and you're not going to threaten me with money.
I
right?
love that guy. You're
If,
damn right. I love that
if
guy.
everybody did that, you know how fucking much better off the fucking world would be?
It's
Because
easy when you're worth 250 billion, though.
yeah, well, it's easier said than done. But I mean, there's other people that have done the same thing. They're refusing to do like movies or different programs with other actors who are really woke. You know what I mean? They're way
Paul, yeah. I mean, listen, you and I are on the same page. Listen, it comes to a point where everybody makes their own decision. The world is not cut and dry. It's not all perfect, and you go here. I think what's happened a lot with society, Paul. I mean, let's face it, the curtain has been pulled on a lot. We've all revealed the wizard, and the wizard means bullshit. Go to college. You got to do this. You got to go into debt before you can become rich. You got to do this. Society and the internet has pulled the carpet right out from under the feet of all the government people. How long has the government been telling us that pot was bad and it's a fucking plant? It's got more, medicine. How
it's got more.
often?
It's more medicinal. Fucking. It's like the best medicinal medicines out there. You know.
Paulie, I use it for my pain. I use it for my,
Me too.
legitly. And not only that, Paulie, I mean, how much time has they been lying to us about everything from acid and mushrooms, and now they're using them in clinical stuff for PTSD and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not one. I don't believe the government. I don't believe when the government comes out and they listen. You know why they don't like P Diddy or whoever it is, and in my opinion, because
Well,
they
he
don't
fell out
play.
of grace with somebody. He fell out of grace with somebody. Believe
Bingo,
me.
bingo. Him. They fell out of grace. I mean, to do that raid that they did on his both home, the way they did those
Did
raids.
I looked at? I was watching that video. I was like, "What the fuck? That's the military, and it
Yeah,
ain't military. That's the police." I was like, "Holy fuck! They're all dressed up in fucking military. Fucking got
yeah.
machine guns and all kinds of shit. Right? They're fucking just. It was unreal. I was like, "Wow."
It had to come down. We are going back, Paulie, because a lot of us. Listen, we wanted to believe. I was one of those believers in a lot of bullshit too. I mean, not really. I mean, I was one of those more rebels, but most people buy into the government's always right when the government says, just like the media. We know the media is a bunch of bullshit. We know, the biggest thing that hurt the media is all these podcasts and people have voices now. So there used to be a place you couldn't go to another spot and get your message out. So if you screwed over NBC, CBS, they'd all stick together and you'd be the vilified. Now there's platforms from Joe Rogan that are bigger than any other. Joe Rogan
Yeah.
is bigger than any news organization in the world. Period. Period. I was just on a show, Paulie. Oh, there's two things coming out. Actually, next Tuesday. Today, this is airing tomorrow, so Friday. Next Tuesday, my show on VH1 comes out. It's called My True Crime Story, a whole hour show, and that's on VH1. And then on the 12th, there's a show coming out called Rank by a company called Jubilee. Huge, boy. Like almost 9 million subscribers. It's a huge show. I think, I called a bitch and all that. Someone said, oh, you're going to be in big trouble. You're going to get canceled. Do you think I give a fuck, Paulie?
No.
Absolutely fucking not.
Listen,
You know who can cancel me? Me.
That's it.
You're not going to not watch me. You're my buddy. You don't give a fuck. Period. There's nobody can say something again. Oh, Paulie said this. Oh, I'm going to say I won't never. Fuck you. I'm going to watch Paulie. I know Paulie. That's the end of it. Most of my fans know who I am. I am not prejudiced. I tell it like it is. I want to help people.
Well,
If I call a bitch, because she's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, nobody likes the person who tells the truth. Today, the truth is evil. You know what I mean? And it's really twisted because the world is upside down, bro. I've been a criminal forever. I was.
I know.
I was a criminal since I was 10. You know what I mean? I got in trouble the first time when I was 10.
I was 12.
So I went and did all the shit that I did. And you know what? I never hated the cops for doing what they did.
Me either.
That beat me up and shit, when I was younger. Fucking maced me in the back.
We say the same thing, Paulie. I got beat. I didn't hate him then.
that was par for the course. That was you chose to do things wrong, and you suffered the consequence. They don't suffer consequences today. They want to blame everybody in the fucking world for their own actions. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it like they're weak. You know what I mean? In my eyes, they're fucking weak. You know, and I think when you grew up and I grew up, we suffered corporal punishment from our parents. You know what I mean?
True.
And they for the last fucking 20 years or so, 30 years, they go stand in the corner. You know what I mean? Take that kid, take a 16-year-old kid's iPhone today because he did something wrong. He'll have a fucking meltdown. They will melt down, literally, emotionally, fucking melt down and need a psychologist. They'll threaten to kill themselves and shit, right? And I'm like, wow. Are you kidding me? Because they took your phone away, you fucking punk. You know what I mean? Huh? Wait till you keep getting in trouble and you go to prison and you ain't got a phone there.
Well,
You know?
now, Paul, they do.
Oh,
These
they
people,
have.
unbelievable.
They do. You know, I know what they got in there. Believe me.
I know it's crazy, but anyway, I just wanted like your take, my take, and I've been following the case because, like I said, I'm doing a video. I am not until listen. I am never impressed with all these. Oh, it's coming. He's gonna do this. Listen, then bring it. This is the guy who's got a lot of money. He's coming with the best lawyers as well. And you know what? I don't know who's gonna come. I want to see before I convicted him. If I was on a jury, I want to see one. I want to see evidence that he held you, or I don't want to hear, oh, I had to stay because he said would keep giving me bonuses, or he gave me a bonus of a car, so I had to stay. But when he stopped that, I didn't like it. So now I'm gonna come out and tell about bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Listen, they were part of the fucking problem that they're discussing now because they encouraged it and they stayed with it. Right?
100%.
So
Now people are gonna call you and me.
What I would do if I was fucking working on Diddy's case, every single witness that's coming forward now, I would investigate the shit out of all of them. Right?
Oh, you don't think they're gonna be? Oh, come on.
Well, he's gonna go with the listen. People like him, they get the people who they feel are the smarter lawyers, right? The smartest. Wow, this is the best lawyer. It's like my co-defendant. He said, "Well, I'm hiring Ed Shohad. He represented this one, and this one, and fucking, at the time it would be the Medellin cartel guys, right?" And he said, Carlos Later. He was Carlos's Later's lawyer. And I said, Carlos Later's got a life sentence, you stupid motherfucker. You ain't named one person that has beat a case. And you want to pay this fucking guy $250,000 for what? Because he has a name?
Yeah, 100%.
Big people? He ain't won a motherfucking case. He ain't won nothing. He hasn't
so right.
anything. So if I was him, if I was Diddy, or if I was working on his case, it would be, I would streetwise know different avenues to go search and look. Where lawyers they don't know, they're not going to do that. They're going to take his money.
Well, I know that, Paul. Just like me, when I had the high paid lawyer, then I had to get rid of him. I saved my own case with the 924C, learning about that with the mob guy, the whole work. Understand, nobody knows your case better than you. I don't give a shit who it is. I tell that to everybody. Listen, I don't want to know your case, but only you know the whole deal as deep as you can get, who you could fuck, who you can't fuck, what you're not gonna do, how you. That's why I can't stand when people say, "Oh, he's a rat. He won against the go." Wait a minute. Before I call a motherfucker a rat, I want to know, how do I know he and that other buddy didn't come up with a scheme and say, "Hey, listen, if we get arrested, listen, I got nothing. I really, in 5 years, they said I'm dead because I got terminal cancer. We don't know this." And he goes, "I'm taking the hit. Just tell them it was me, and you'll get off, and the whole works. Keep your life going."
Nick did that. Nicky did that.
Right. What I'm getting at exactly.
Yeah.
People just call people rats because they don't know. First of all, what I'm finding out on the internet, especially the internet, Paulie, most people don't even know how to read paperwork on the internet, what the docket sheets, what it means to be in whatever it is. They don't understand what we know about Rule 35. Oh, but he got a 20-year sentence. I know he's strong. Oh, really? Did you know after he got sentenced to 20 years, the feds walked up to him and said, listen, I want you to go to this prison. We're going to put you there. I want you to get in for Larry Lawton, and then you're going to get a Rule 35. And then someone said, but they can't do that. It's only up to a year. Oh, really? I watched them fucking moving through Rule 35 5 years out because they said it was in an ongoing investigation. So don't tell me what they can and can't do, the feds. So don't tell me how they don't know how to read paperwork, people.
Listen, we used to laugh because they would say, they can't do this to me. And I said, motherfucker, yeah, you. Look at where you are. Who are you talking to? You're talking to me and Larry, right? Where are we? We're in fucking prison, right? You're with us. What do you mean they can't do this to you?
I even to this day told them about you. I said, listen to me. When you say they can't do it, this country went into Panama, took the president out, made him a drug dealer, put him on Miami, and my buddy Tallini is looking at him from another window. And they can't fuck with you? Who the fuck you think you are?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and you gotta they amuse me.
Oh, they can't mess with. Oh, they can't do that. That's against the law. That's the best one, Paulie. Oh, yeah, they can't do that. I said, really? Oh, wow. Listen, I didn't know they can't do an illegal search and lie about it.
No, they don't even lie about it anymore. The court says, well, they did it in good faith.
Yeah, that's another one. I remember, Paulie, I did a case. I forget what it was. The paperwork showed in the transcript that the judge had to wake the lawyer up 3 times. During
I did a case out of Texas like that.
Yeah,
the guy's
and you know what they said? He didn't fall asleep on important parts of the case, or it had no.
This one here it said. They said that the guy was in this guy. It turned out he was up all night because he was out partying and all coked up, and she was a cokehead, the lawyer, right? And he got disbarred like 5 years later because he was a drug addict, right? And they turned around and told the kid, they said, listen, when we did the case, they said, well, he was just resting his eyes. He was listening to everything that was going on in the court. How the fuck do you know the man was snoring, literally snoring, and the clerk had to wake him up because the jury couldn't hear what was being said over his fucking snoring. And they upheld that kid's conviction. And I said, well, that's Texas for you, baby.
No, I love people that there's no way I can't win this case because of this. They go, oh, it's a good argument. But don't ever tell me you can't. We might win it, but don't tell me you're gonna win it because what I've seen will blow you the frick away. But hey, let's get into another couple of little cases that I wanted to talk about, or things that are going on. There's some new laws that are coming out in the BOP that you sent me. And you're showing me a case where the government is not even given the calculating time of inmates.
They're not calculating.
Tell my people.
Huh?
Tell people, because it's got me like,
what
happened?
I was reading it. Trump, they come up with the First Step Act, right? It was the first real prison reform in 30 years, right? So they passed the First Step. Right. And they were giving you up to 10 days off for taking specific programs, rehabilitation programs. Not Larry's fucking, jumping jack lessons in the yard, but you had to do a program from education to benefit yourself, or from the psychology department, like, stinking thinking or whatever. And if you graduated that program, when you graduated the program, you got 10 days for every 30 days you were in the program.
Wow. So going there for a year. Nice.
You could literally, you could literally fucking knock a year off your fucking sentence, quickly. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you're programming too, you know what I mean? So you're doing things and you're learning even if you don't learn. But they're not calculating the time or giving it to people. You know what I mean? When you're finished with the program, you should get the time credit. When you're finished with that 30 days, you should get the 10 days right off the rip. But they're not doing it. They're waiting till you go to unit team again, and you're going to go once a year. You know what I mean? So you go to fucking team, and then they turn around and they say, okay, well, you earned 165 days, credit off of your sentence under the FSA. But they're still not applying it. They're not giving it to everybody. They don't know how. They don't know who qualifies, who doesn't qualify. If you had a gun in the case, even if you didn't have it, but your co-defendant had it, and you got enhanced because there was a weapon there, or you knew there was a weapon there. It's all bullshit, And because they have to be told at every turn what to do. You know what I mean? No one wants to take the initiative and say, well, the guy, look at the law says this. It's real fucking simple. And the guy finished 3 programs and he earned 30 days, 10 days per program per month, right? So that he had to be in the program for 30 days, right? And then they said, what
programs?
Yeah,
right?
they did up with all kinds of bullshit to stop getting it. But there's an investigation going on with Congress. In Congress, I sent you that information about them not giving these people the credits. It's like now the Attorney General issued a ruling, right, in his or a new policy statement for guys who were serving sentences for crack cocaine. It was 100 to 1, then they dropped it to 18 to 1, and now they want to make it 1 to 1. Because there is no difference. But there's still guys in prison that are doing it. It's like drinking a beer compared to scotch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of your taste of what you're doing. So the drug is the drug, period. And the what's his name? Merrick Garland. That's the Attorney General, right?
Attorney General,
he just issued a thing saying that, if you have crack cases coming back before you make it 1 to 1. Basically, that's what he's saying. So he put the directive out there. The sentencing commission's trying to do something to do it too, but Congress doesn't want to act and make it 1 to 1.
Right, yeah.
Why won't they do it? Biden wrote the fucking law. He wrote the 1996 Crime Control Act, which made 100 to 1. And he said it was the best legislation he's ever gotten passed. So
you mean that it was 100 to 1?
That it was 100 to 1 at one time, the crack versus cocaine.
Yeah,
right?
Crazy.
Then they did it and they lowered it to the Equal Act, right? Under the Equal Act, I think it was, on Obama. And he made that retroactive, and he made no, they didn't make it retroactive until the following year. But they made it so that it was 18 to 1, and it sent a lot of people home, because I mean, my first cellie that I had in fucking Memphis in 1991, 1991, he had 8 grams of crack cocaine, and he got a life sentence.
Jesus.
Yeah. His name was Henry Ivey.
Listen, I was just on a show, Paulie. I told you, this big show. And what they did was, you're going to laugh at this show. They took 8 convicts, right? Now, we didn't know who each other were. Some guy recognized me, but it was a kid of one of the guys. So they put us in a room in this white thing. You got to watch this show. It's called Jubilee. It's called Ranking. Now, my episode comes out on the 12th. I think I'm getting in trouble because I did call this bitch a bitch. And there was a girl there. I couldn't tell if it was a girl or a guy. And I kept saying, I don't know what you are. Called her a baby killer. But anyway, I went crazy. But Paulie, so the show had us, and now us 8 people are in this thing. And the first thing is we get in there, they tell you we're all ex-cons, and you have to look at each other and see who did the worst crime. Okay, just by looks. So I kept trying to get myself to be the least guy, Oh, I said, this girl, look at her. She looks like a serial killer. She should go to the front. And you know me, I'm going crazy. Then someone said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Man, bitches are bitches. Don't trust bitches." You know, I went crazy on bitch. I think I was a little high too, Paul. I had a little weed in me. So
Yeah.
listen, so I get there, and now Nick, Nick, my producer there, he's sitting there, he's in the back, like him and this other guy are laughing, knowing, holy shit, Larry, you tied up people. You are a bad man, you know. So then the next thing, Paulie, they tell everybody to tell their crimes, just what they were charged with. Okay. Now, me knowing the law, it was easy for me because you tell me the law and I'm going to know about the time and all that, not time and how serious the crime is. Especially when they, like I said to them, I was arrested for a RICO Hobbs Act robbery. Most people don't know what that is unless you know the law.
Mhm.
Now, once you know the law, you go, oh shit, that's serious. First of all, it's bad. They don't just get somebody under the RICO and it's a robbery. It's not like a home invasion bullshit because that's not a RICO, predicate act and all that. So anyway, they did it. Now then I go up. They're moving me. Then you get to describe your crimes. Rob these 20 Jews who tied up 100 people. They had me, and these one lady, she was like bitching at. She was a fraudster, some bullshit. Oh, I really didn't know what I did. Yeah, you did, bitch. You knew exactly what you did.
Of
Don't lie
course,
to me.
especially when it's a fraud.
Right, right. But anyway, they ended up having me as the worst guy. So it ends up, they line us up. Then after they line you up, then they put us up there and who did the most time. Now, the first dude, I was second, right? The first dude, listen to this, boy. He got a 98-year sentence for pot. He was in the feds, and he ended up doing 32 straight years. Pot, pot smuggler,
For pot.
pot smuggler. And I said, that's why I kept rating him. I said, you didn't do a bad crime. Number one, you down the end. You're not a bad guy. You're pot smuggler. You're not. Listen, I know I was worse than you. Trust me, I was a criminal. You know what I mean? I was bad. I was breaking people's arms and shit. I said, you're a pot smuggler, man. They should give you an award or a medal or a sorry button. That's for what you did. For spending that amount of time. And I was telling him about you, how you got guys out on, a few guys out on life. He got out kind of a way you did. Somebody, did something with his case, and then they were doing something under the first step, whatever it was. He got out, just like you. Like you got people out. I don't know, the way you do. You got life sentence. I was telling him you got life sentence guys out. So a few of them, not one. Okay. Anyway, no, that was Nick. So
Figure it
I'm
was
talking.
Nick. What's he doing?
No, 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 no. I'm getting ready to get this show, up and running because I'm liking this. I'm hoping this works with what we're doing, with you and me, because I want to do this once every week or two, and just we could put up one
Yeah.
every other week because your insights into the law. So we're gonna start. Also, we're gonna start something. I want to start a group on my Discord. And on my Discord, I don't know if you're a member, but I'll show you how to get there. It's nothing. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. Anybody who wants to just jump on my Discord, it's in the links in these videos. When you get on that Discord, I'm gonna put a group up there for helping incarcerated or something because people want to write letters, people want to know what to do, they want to donate. I want to get a fund together for you and me that we could take that fund and then like work on people's cases. You know what I mean? We'll get a fund together that the people want to see, and we'll have them call it, like write in about cases, and we'll be our own innocent project, but we'll fund it through like donations.
Yeah.
Uh, that was a bit. I've been thinking about that with you and me because we know enough about the law, and you do as the anchor to this whole thing. That then donations can fund you doing we and then we'll see how we can get a guy back in jail or out or whatever, and have people behind us. If we need red letter writing and whatever, and you can go
Well,
on every.
most people need when they're coming out. If you even when you're doing a petition, what I do is I have their families go look for people that will give them employment, because if you put a release package together for them for the court to see, and it has letters of support from the community, you guys got a job waiting for them, shit like that, it's a lot easier to get them some relief. If if the guy's just going back into the same situation and he really didn't do a whole lot while he was in prison, he's just older, you know what I mean? The likelihood of him being a recidivist is greater, you know. So the
But
more
Paulie, that's the same, because they're really penalizing young people for not having family left, or friends. It's kind of penalizing people. I hate to see that, because it's back to the old privileged way. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if we could help those people who don't have people, I'm for that.
Oh yeah, there's a plenty of them, because I
Oh, I
do it
know.
I have guys contact me every day and tell me, look, I don't have no money, and I've been following your blogs for years. Do you think you could send me some cases on this subject? I got a guy in here helping me. I'll send them the cases. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I know
You know
you
what
will. Oh, yeah.
I mean?
But
send them
I
the
want to do
cases.
this where we start a GoFundMe for this. I want to get this podcast up and going, and then I want to bring it places. And people might want to donate $10, 20, but before you know it, you got a lot of money in a fund. And the fund can be to do what we're doing, because people don't know it costs money, from Pacer and time and
Oh
even
yeah, you
everything. I mean, just Paulie,
my
printing
bill,
paperwork costs me money.
Pacer bill was last month.
Uh,
It's like over $600 fucking.
Right. I know. So
Oh,
they don't get that. They
thanks.
don't get everything we're doing. So what I want to do is do that and get it done the right way. And I think we can do that. So that's what the good part is. So I think we're going to work on that. And I want to make sure that this is working, what we're doing, so we can make these things easy and people can understand what we're doing and get behind it and support it, because it's needed. The more I'm out here, the more I'm doing things, Paulie, the more I'm meeting people, the more I'm doing things. We have too much knowledge to just let it go without getting some of these people. And there are people who always ask me, how can I help? How can I help? Well, we put a little GoFundMe together, and people can donate, and then they can follow cases
Yeah,
that
I
we're going
had
to talk about.
a,
I
I
think we
had a,
need to find a case or two, put a
yeah,
number on, do GoFundMe's, and follow the case.
I had a, when COVID hit, and I wrote my like what I was writing my law book for, right? And then I just said, fuck it, I'm going to put it on a website, and I put it on my website, so people, because I would get a few emails a week saying, man, the law library shut down, they're only letting
Oh,
us out in
yeah.
court, we can't do this, we can't do that. Your letters are fucking great, please keep us up to date. And I was saying, okay, listen, you can have your families go to my webpage. I said, go to my website, and they can click on and they can read all the blogs that I put on there. And there's also, if you go to the legal resources section, right, as a part of it, that's my law book there, right? And when I wrote the book, I wrote it for reversible error, right? So I said, all you got to do is scroll down on the index and hit your subject matter, and it's going to take you to cases that were reversed, and you'll see why they
You
were
mean like the
reversed. But it will be that
924C or
I
Blakely,
have all that,
all of that. Blakely versus
yeah,
Washington, that case, or the gun case, Blakely versus
yeah.
Washington, all of that, right?
It's from A to Z. Every topic is covered. It's in there. And they just click on the subject matter, and it takes them right to the case law.
That's a great idea.
You know I mean, but I mean, I have that. I put that on my thing because I know what it's like. You know what it's like to be in there, and especially if you're fighting a case. You know what I mean? You don't have the resources
Yeah,
that
that's
are.
a shame. It is a shame. I wish there were more of us, but there's too many, again, sharks even in that business, want to just screw people.
Oh yeah,
And we're not going to do that. And so what I'm going to do, Paulie, I'm going to go now, but I'm going to get back with you. I like what we're doing. I want to make sure that if this works, because this was easy, we want to let people know we've been having a hard time connecting because Paulie is overseas. He is in Colombia, and it's not as easy as for to get files or, his actual raw work. So we're trying to do these in this regard through a Zoom. This way we can put them up
Yeah, I
and
think Zoom, and I think there's the other way is YouTube. I think you do the YouTube live and connect. That's another way I think you
I
can
was just
do it.
researching, Paulie. I was researching the best way to do video vlogs with another person, and it does say Zoom. I mean, the quality is good enough to make it. So we're gonna see. We're gonna try to make it always better and better. We're gonna get you where you can maybe start recording on your computer. This way, you can put it on a Google Drive from your computer, which is
Yeah.
easy because if you're on the computer, you can put it up to a Google Drive. We can then share a file. But we're gonna see if this works or the best way to work. We're gonna get it working. There's too much we got to do, and I want to start this thing soon here because I want to show that we can still help. That's a part of me that wants to just do that GoFundMe and put that right in a fund for what we're doing to help people get out of jail. Period. None of that money's gonna go for except what you need and I need to get this thing going and keep it going. And it's not going to be wasted. We're going to do the work. Paulie will do the work. We'll research it. We'll get this guy the best, and we'll keep you posted.
I won that Doctor's case, right?
I know. I love it. I want to talk about that case the next time we're up and running because I want to talk about his case and I want to have the GoFundMe up and running for that. So we can then put it and try to get another guy. There's a few cases people calling me and say, "What would you do?" And I always say, "Listen, got to go to Paulie. It's worth a few hundred." But even some people don't even have that, and we can do that. Even if we just gain money, and I get the money, and then we give you the money to research that case really well. You know what I'm saying? And if we do that, we'll be in good shape. But I got to go, Paulie. I just got the word, and I will talk to you in a little bit.
All right.
Anything else to report?
Brother, stay blessed.
Love you, brother, man. Say hi to the family. And
I
I'll
will.
talk to you in a few days, bud. Take care, Paulie.
All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.